A couple weeks ago, some guy named Flame, and I don't know who Flame is. I don't know what his real name is. I don't. But he was one of these reformed rappers. And he came out and he's left Calvinism and embraced some kind of Lutheranism. And when I say some kind of Lutheranism, I don't know. There are a lot of different kinds of Lutheranism. Are we talking about Luther's Lutheranism? Are we talking about Luther before 1525? Are we talking about Luther after 1525? Are we talking about Philip Melanchthon? Are we blah, 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 blah. And then in the modern context, you've got conservative Lutherans, and then you've got not so conservative Lutherans. And, you've got the ELCA, and then you've got Wisconsin, you got Missouri, and especially when it comes to issues of Calvinism, my experience is when you're talking to Lutherans, it all becomes mystery. It's all a mystery. And one of their biggest objections to Calvinists is that we do not allow for mystery. And so in other words, they hold contradictory perspectives and say it's mystery. Okay, whatever. So I didn't jump into it. What can I say? I did last week listen to an hour and 50 minutes of a guy from a two-guy, I don't know what they do. I don't know what their background is. Had never heard of them before. Somebody on Twitter linked me to it. For some reason, I decided to listen to it. An hour and 50 minutes of a guy from Ear Biscuits. It used to be a crew guy, on staff with Campus Crusade. And he's left the faith. And it was interesting. I sent the link to Jason Lyle because I felt that he'd find some of it to be something he may want to comment upon, because it had a lot to do with evolution and but this slow chipping away at his faith. So sometimes I do listen to this stuff, but I can't listen to all of it. There's tons of it. Anyway, this Flame guy posts this tweet. The danger of presuming that Jesus only died for a limited group of people amounts to Adam being more effective in bringing sin and death on all than Christ, who brings justification and salvation only to the elect. The atonement is cosmic in dimensions as Adam's sin. Now, I remember dialoguing with a liberal Lutheran many years ago, before the net. It was on BBS. Actually, might have been early AOL. Whatever. And yeah, I don't know. But the point is that particular Lutheran told me, yes, we are all redeemed. Jesus' death for everybody, we've all been redeemed. And so our message is to go out and to tell people, you have already been redeemed. Just believe and experience. And I think he probably was a Universalist. And the idea was, well, they'll get to live better now knowing they're redeemed than if they don't know they're redeemed. Even though when they die, they're going to find out they're redeemed anyways. So it was a form of Universalism. But then there are others that would say, no, you've got to, it's the synergistic concept of human faith. So you may be redeemed, but unless you believe, then you are still redeemed, but not redeemed. I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't get it. Anyway, my response to the tweet was, this logic, of course, leads inevitably to Universalism and has many times in various groups since the Reformation. The particularity of God's choice of Israel is perfectly in line with particularity in the freedom of his grace. So the point was, first of all, the argument is not an overly good argument. This is not a competition as to who was better at doing something. Federal headship may not have been something that Flame understood before or something. I don't know. Like I said, don't know anything about the man. But making it a competition as to how many people Adam ruined, as if that was his intention, versus how many people Christ saves, is the same error as equal ultimacy. really, the equal ultimacy error within Reformed folks, where you have election unto salvation, election unto damnation. They're just the exact same thing. They're not the exact same thing. One involves the extension of grace. The other one does not involve the extension of grace at all, at least not saving grace. So a lot of other people saw the exact same thing, that fundamentally, if what you're saying is for Christ to be equal to Adam, his atonement has to have equal results to Adam's sin. The only way to fulfill that is universalism. And I didn't see if this Flame 314 fellow ever responded to any of these things, because I wasn't the only one. I looked at one thread and was like, yeah, a lot of people saying the same thing, so that's good. I don't know if he responded, and that would give some indication of where he's coming from, but I didn't see it.